me always. Namamida Butsunamanda Butsunamanda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all coming to the Twin Cities, the very last service of the 2024. And then thank you for driving all the way. Kind of icy, slippery road, foggy morning, and then kind of worried about everybody driving. And then the Zoom attendance, thank you for joining the service today. So with only 2 weeks left in the year, so can you believe how quickly 2020? This. Okay, so maybe I should put the microphone. Okay, now, okay, good. So at the beginning of my talk, I will read our Jodo Shinshu founder Shinran Shonin's word from Hymns of the Pure and Masters. Please join in me, Gasho, put your hands together. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light and grasps me. Yet the great compassion without tiring illumines me always. Namamida Butsunamanda Butsunamanda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all coming to the Twin Cities, the very last service of the 2024. And then thank you for driving all the way. Kind of icy, slippery road, foggy morning, and then kind of worried about everybody driving. And then the Zoom attendance, thank you for joining the service today. So with only 2 weeks left in the year, so can you believe how quickly 2024 was flown by? So every December, I found myself saying like, this year went by so fast. So, and I'm sure many of you feel the same. That perhaps it is not just the year seems pass quickly, daily we do. So maybe we recognize in the way. So just every single year, the end of the year, just surprised, like how quickly, it passed also. So, and then also as we grow older, time appears to accelerate. Do you feel that way? Yeah. So when I was a child, a single year felt like a eternity. And then summer stretched endlessly, and then school years felt like they would never end. But now, as life piles up, months turn into weeks, weeks into days, and suddenly we are here at the close of another year. So why does this happen? So maybe it's because we live longer. So each year become a smaller fraction of our lives. And then, or perhaps it's because we are so busy, right? We are so busy, and the time that slips through our fingers. So whatever the reason, so we can all agree that each year passes in a blink of an eye. So which is I remember my grandma always told me that just like a blink of the eyes, and then I just didn't understand what does it mean. But now I understand very well. It is just like that. So maybe I'm old that much. So and then, but now I understand that some of you might thinking, I hope the Dharma talk doesn't stretch on forever. When will we get to the bingo game? So please bear with me for just a short time. So I promise my words will be brief, and then we can enjoy the fun activities ahead. So how was this year 2024 feel for you? So was it filled with the joy, or did it bring challenges? Perhaps it's a mix of both, right? So did it unfold as you expected to do? Or were there surprises present or otherwise? That the challenges to you is that your plans? So today we are blessed to celebrate the tradition of Joya-e. So this is the tradition, the ringing of the temple bells on the New Year's Eve, the last day of the year, and then at many temples all over the Japan. And then after 5 years, we can finally come together again and then ring the Kansho bell in person. So remember during the COVID time, so many of us rang the bells at home or used the whatever we had, that substitute. And then, but today we return to this beautiful practice of the ringing the bell 108 times as a community. So, and then it's also, let's continue to participate in a new online habit. So that for those of you participating online, so please be prepared to substitute something you have at home, and then just as we did in the last few years. So in a Buddhist tradition, so these 108 chimes that symbolize our passions and then the delusions. So the obstacle that the crowd are heart and mind. So by ringing the bell, we reflect on the challenges and then prepare ourselves for the coming year. So while we recognize that these passions cannot be entirely erased, this act helps us to become mindful of them to reminds us of the guidance and we receive from the Amida Buddha. So looking back on this past year, so many might feel it wasn't particularly good one. The Contemplation Sutra and also called Meditation Sutra is a Buddhist script that teaches how people can focus on the mind and the hearts to be reborn in the Pure Land, a place of the peace of enlightenment guided by Amida Buddha. The sutra is very dramatic, the fascinating story. So I hope to take some time in the future to introduce this sutra into the more detail. But in the sutra, we learned about the infinite light of Amida Buddha. It tells the story of a Queen Vaidehi who was suffering and wanting to escape the pain of this world. Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, appeared to her and then taught her how to visualize the Pure Land and the Amida Buddha's the infinite light. By focusing on the light and the meditation with faith, and even people living in difficult times can find the hope and peace. The Contemplation Sutra reminds us that no matter how much suffering or darkness we face, the compassionate light evening, especially in the winter time, I take him for a walk, and even when it gets dark early. So around our neighborhood, there aren't many street lights. So the roads are dark and then icy and slippery. And then my glasses often fog up in the cold. So walking chewy in this darkness can feel unsettling in the evening. I can barely see the road ahead, and then every step feels uncertain. So, but in a distance, I see the small light, the lights from my home. The lights become my guide, the helping me navigate through the dark and the icy streets. That's the directions I should go to, right? So no matter how far I wander, the light reminds me that I have a warm, safe place waiting for me. So it had been a daytime or a brightly day, I might not have noticed the other house light, right? So, but in the darkness, I really need a house of light. So, but in a pitch black darkness with the fogged glasses, the freezing cold, and the full of anxiety, the light was source of relief and comfort. So when life feels overwhelming, when we are lost in the darkness and the suffering or doubt, the light of Amida Buddha shines on us. So it guides us even when we cannot see clearly. But the light is always present, never fading, and always ready to lead us back to the place and the peace and assured. So when I saw my light of my home, my feet naturally moved toward it. So without even trying, my dog, Chewy, and I found ourselves heading to the right direction. Amida's light is more than a guide. It embraces us, even when we cannot see it. It holds us close and never lets go. So this light is like a sun giving life and the nourishment of everything. So I've heard compared to the parent bird, the little bird, the wrapping its wing around the egg. Have you ever seen that before? Yeah. The bird doesn't just protect the egg. It gives the warmth, helping the chick grow inside the shell. Through the chick cannot see its parent. It feels the love and care until it hatches and meets them. Similarly, we are covered by own ego shell, but they can't see that the Amida Buddha light clearly. But Amida Buddha embraces us with light and warmth, patiently guiding us. That like the egg, that become the bird, we are nurtured the Amida Buddha's lights, and then we'll one day be able to break free and rebirth into the parent. So just as the mother bird, they care tirelessly for their chicks, the Amida's bow toward us never rests. The meaning of Namu Amida Butsu is to entrust ourselves to this infinite life and life. So regardless of whatever we consciously rely on Amida Buddha or not, this light continues to work for us, embracing with us with infinite compassion. So as we prepare to welcome 2025, many of us may feel uncertainty or worry. Will this new year bring relief from our current struggles? Will we find the strength to overcome the challenges we face? The teaching of Buddhism reminds us that suffering, illness, aging, and loss are part of life. So these truths are recognized by Shakyamuni Buddhas over 2,500 years ago, and then they remain unchanged today. So however, Buddhism also offers us path forward through reflection, gratitude, and then guidance of the Dharma. We can continue moving forward one step at a time. So as we ring the bell today, let us take the moment, reflect on a year that has passed. What have you learned? What challenges have you faced? And what joys have you experienced? This meditation is not about achieving something extraordinary. It is simply a moment to calm our mind, to look inward and appreciate the life we have been given. So as we close this year, I encourage you to reflect your own journey. So while the world often focuses on the big events, politics, technology, or global news, let's also take a moment to cherish the personal moment that shaped us. At the same time, let us not forget the many lives lost in 2024 to war, hunger, disease, and hardship, sick, illness. Countless people continue to endure suffering with no clear solution in sight. So as we step into 2025, so may we carry that assure that no matter what lie ahead, so the light of Amida Buddha will always guide and embracing us. May we move forward with compassion in our hearts and resolved in our action. So I will close with the word from the hymn of the Pure Land Masters, the Shinran Shonin's words again. Please join me in Gasho. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light and grasp me, yet the great compassion without tiring illumines me always. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.